It's the Brad and John Show.
Brad and John Show. Today's date is October 8th. It's a Wednesday. I was going to say it's Tuesday, but it's a Wednesday. John, how do we start the B block out?
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
It is. And in the ladies' contract, they have to sing it twice. So, ladies, one more time.
It's time for Brad's Top.
And we start off with,
It's number 3.
John, are you a 007 fan? A James Bond fan?
I haven't. I think I've seen 2 or 3 of the movies, and I think they were Sean Connery and the other guy.
So you're not a real big fan because they've been going on since, like, I think, 1962 or 1963
Yeah,
or something like that?
I've seen less than a handful, I'll say.
Okay, I don't know if you know this or not, but a couple years ago, Amazon, which has Amazon Prime and Amazon Music, which now owns one of the movie studios, took over the distribution rights for all the James Bond movies. And now they have officially gotten the entire rights to all the library of the James Bond movies, and they will be producing the James Bond movies moving forward. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
But there's been a little bit of controversy because of the fact that over the last couple of weeks, if you go on to any of the Amazon sites where they're promoting the fact that they have the James Bond movies, and James Bond, be it Sean Connery or Roger Moore or what's his name, David Craig, what was his name now? No, David Craig. No,
Daniel Craig, maybe.
David Craig's the old disc jockey. Daniel Craig.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, there's something missing in the action photos of all the James Bond characters. And guess what that is that's something's missing? It's been photoshopped out of the picture. And you know what that is?
I saw one of these stories. Is it a gun?
Yes, they photoshopped.
Unbelievable, Brad.
They photoshopped all the pictures, and some of them, if you've seen some of them are like, okay, what's he doing? Is he like, is he handing somebody like a donut or something like that? His hand is outstretched. Did you see that one where it's like,
That was the one I saw that looks completely nonsensical.
Yes, it's to the point where it's like, what is he doing? It makes sense if he's got a gun in his hand, but they photoshopped the guns out of his hands. Now, what I find fascinating about this is that some of the biggest gun ban proponents in the country are the left-wing liberals who are involved in the movie studios. And let's say a movie like Pulp Fiction, for example. Have you ever seen the movie Pulp Fiction, John?
I have, Brad. An incredibly violent film.
Yes. How many people get shot at point-blank range and you see the blood spatters and the whole bit? Okay, if guns are so bad, and wouldn't you categorize, Quentin Tarantino, we don't think he's a Republican, do we, John?
Exactly right.
He's probably a very left-wing Democrat, and probably for gun control, except when he shows it in the movies for gratuitous violence. Right, John? I mean,
I think so. So where are we going to end with this? Can we replace all those hot chicks with like big, fat, purple-haired women?
Right. That's funny you should mention that. I thought the same thing. I thought to myself, okay, for a long time, one of these things that was been called is being a Bond girl. And,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things, if you never watch a James Bond movie, there's always a super attractive woman who becomes part of the story, and it's always a smoking hot woman. Correct, John?
Absolutely right, Brad.
Sometimes my favorite James Bond movie was, and this is an oldie but a goodie, Goldfinger. And you know who the woman of interest in that James Bond movie is? You know what her screen name is, John?
Is it Vagina Galore?
Pussy galore.
Okay, I didn't know we could say that on the air, but that's fun. That's good.
So here's Amazon, and the interesting part of it is they've taken tons of heat over this, justifiably so. People go like, okay, so you're going to Photoshop out the guns, but yet there still be guns in the movie where he's shooting people and people are shooting at him, and there's machine gun fire, and there's missiles, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff. But of course, in the publicity shots, we have to have James Bond, Sean Connery, or Roger Moore, or wherever the other guys were, and there was a couple other guys as well too. We have to Photoshop the gun out of his hand. It just doesn't make any sense, John. Get what I'm saying?
I think that, can you imagine being the guy or gal that was tasked with that day?
Yes.
And then, like, let's say you're a chick and you're married to like a firefighter, And he's like, oh gosh, we had the worst fire today. It was terrible. And then he's like, hey babe, what'd you do at work today? Oh, I went in and I deleted guns from a James Bond poster.
Yes, I photoshopped guns out of Sean Connery's hand, right? And the husband says, "You did what?" I mean, it's just at a point
Incredible.
right? Stupid stuff. Okay, number 2.
It's time for Brad's number 2. It's time for Brad's number 2.
I heard this story and I had to do a little research. And John, I'm actually sort of confused because once upon a time we used to be involved with the National Night Out. Have you ever been involved in this thing, the National Night Out program?
No, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Officially, when I go to the National Night Out website, it's supposed to be in August. But last night, I believe was the night, if I'm not mistaken, it was the National Night Out in a couple of our metro area munis, one of them being Ferguson and one of them being St. Louis. Did you hear what happened at the National Night Out downtown last night?
Oh no, it sounds like the setup to a punchline.
They were
and remind everyone what and including me. Is the idea of National Night Out to say, hey, our city is safe, come outside?
Well, not necessarily. It's supposedly you're supposed to get outside and you're supposed to meet your neighbors and shake hands and,
That sounds miserable.
Right. You're supposed
I
to.
just want to wave to Ralph. I don't want to get to know him.
You're supposed to, be like a good citizen and talk to people and stuff like that. Well, last night at the St. Louis City, and once again, I don't understand this because I looked at this morning and I saw it said that the National Night Out, I believe this year was August 5th, but yet there's a story on the Channel 2 news site about National Night Out in Ferguson, and I read a couple other stories about National Night Out in St. Louis, but National Night Out in downtown St. Louis was marred by, guess what, John? A gunfight. Shots rang out.
No.
Yes.
And by gunfight, you mean like an intense chess battle on a park bench?
No, I'm talking about, and get this, a 14-year-old guy, a kid, and his accomplice, who they say was 13. They caught the 14-year-old. The reason they caught the 14-year-old because he pulled a gun on a 40-year-old man to rob him at, I believe, 9th and Lucas. And the 40-year-old man essentially said, "Punk, I ain't taking none of that." And he whipped out his gun, and they exchanged gunfire, and both of them were hit. The other accomplice, his buddy, the 13-year-old dude, escaped unharmed, and they're looking for him. But that's what happened. A shootout between a 40-year-old dude who was the rob-ee and a 14-year-old kid who was the robber in National Night Out in downtown St. Louis. And they say things are safe in downtown St. Louis, right, John? They say there's no problem at all in downtown St. Louis.
I think that would pair nicely with the story that wasn't on my website, but Brad would be interested in on the Post-Dispatch, writing about Wentzville's extreme growth.
Yes, and why is that? Because everybody wants out of the city of St. Louis.
You're exactly right, Brad. Wow, what a great story. National Night Out ends in gunfire.
Yes,
what do you know?
No kidding. Okay, now for number 1, and it's another banger, as John would say.
And now, big finish, Brad's number.
John, once again, we have made national news, and we have made the people proud, and you'll never guess what site this showed up on as far as the national news. This was on Sports Illustrated's website, si.com. Do you know what I'm talking about, John? Do you have any idea?
Oh, yeah. No, I have no idea. I was going to say you still subscribe to the swimsuit issue.
No. What's interesting is, here's the story. The headline is, and this is literally the headline. I'm watching it right now. This is under the high school sports division of SI.com. Unbelievable. Police in Ohio pepper spray Missouri high school football team after game ends. Have you heard this story?
I saw it. It's the top headline on my version of STL Today. You know, that algorithm feeds you what it thinks you want to see.
Right.
And I guess for some reason, folks went Cardinal Ritter.
Yes.
You say it was Cardinal Ritter?
Yes, Cardinal Ritter. Yes.
Okay, which is a black school.
Right.
Went to Ohio. Now, Bran, I'm guessing that they might have done something to get them pepper sprayed.
Okay. Let me read the first paragraph in the story. There actually a second. I'll read the first two paragraphs. A scene unfolded Friday night in Ohio that few could have imagined. Mere minutes after a closely contested high school football game between the Washington Tigers, that's the place in Ohio. Matter of
Okay,
fact,
that sounds very black. If
Right.
your high school is called Washington, it's probably a black school.
Right. And Cardinal Ritter College Prep Lions ended in Massillon, Ohio. Several police officers rushed onto the field and sprayed pepper spray toward and onto Cardinal Ritter players and coaching staff. They did not appear to spray toward any Washington players or coaches. Cardinal Ritter College Prep, a top 25 Missouri program for St. Louis. Is that top 25 in the state or top 25 in the country? Do you know what the deal on this?
It sounds like.
Oop, you cut out there, John. You still there?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like country. If they say top 25, I'm guessing that's country.
It says top 25 Missouri program from St. Louis had made the 534-mile trip to Massillon, located south of Akron, for the much-anticipated showdown. Washington won the game 28-14, but the police response quickly overshadowed the outcome. A video of the incident showed the chaotic aftermath as multiple officers appeared to spray Cardinal Ritter players and coaches. At least one player, sophomore defense back DJ Ross, 16, was sprayed in the face with the chemical irritant. A teammate rushed to his aid and tried to rinse his eyes with water from a Gatorade bottle as he attempted to leave the field. While many players and coaches were directly hit with the chemical irritant, several other Cardinal Ritter players who were not directly sprayed, and they experienced breathing difficulties after inhaling the lingering effects of the chemical in the air. Some could be seen coughing and covering their faces as they tried to move away from the area. And I'm going like, okay, what in now? What you're not reading in the story, this is what I've read other places, is that after the game, there was some, shall we say, not so nice dialogue on the field between the two teams, and essentially they were told by, I guess, the officials from the coach, not the coaches, but the referees, and then the principals, to both teams leave the field, which they did not. And apparently some shoving and pushing and name calling ensued. They were probably making comments about one another's mothers, what kind of shoes they wear, stuff like that, John. And,
yeah, right.
And pretty soon some fisticuffs broke out, and the police got onto the field, and from what I heard, the police declared, and this was the official content or the official comment from the local police department that did this, they say they declared it what's the term they use? It's something, it's the legal term where he said unauthorized meeting or something. You know what I'm talking about, John? There's a term they use. It's
an unauthorized meeting. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But whatever it is, they declared it, and supposedly they've declared this 3 times. And supposedly the rules of engagement with the police are that if you declare it a unacceptable situation, whatever, there's a term for it. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, you have to disperse.
Yes, you have to disperse. In other words, if you've been told, hey, get off, get away, whatever the situation is, where they're at, leave the premises. It's sort of like being, like if you're a miscreant at Walmart, and when they call the police and Walmart says, okay, we want them trespassed, and the person says, I ain't going nowhere, then you end up in the back of a Ford Explorer with handcuffs. But that's a whole nother story. So this is the big controversy, that they claim that the police only sprayed the Cardinal Ritter kids when none of the local kids from the Ohio team were affected. And I'm going like, okay, here we go again.
That's weird. And Brad, I just looked up the demographics of Washington High School in this city in Ohio, and it's 65% white, and then it's like 13% black, and then like 12% it says mixed race. So I guess, it's surprising to me. You have a school that's 65% white. I don't know what happened here. I haven't seen the video, so
well, John,
I don't know exactly what happened here. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about this, and I'm sure this will become, if the host high school is 65% white, I'm sure this will become some sort of a race victimhood story.
John, you're exactly correct, because the composition of the Cardinal Ritter football team is probably what?
100% black.
100% black. Okay, so they're now saying, well, look at this. The police sprayed the Cardinal Ritter students, the Cardinal Ritter players, and they're all black, but yet they didn't spray the other team because they're mostly white. Okay, whatever. The sad part of this is, you're a guy involved with your kids playing sports. I did it for a long time. I was coach on a couple of my kids' teams. I managed my youngest son's team for 3 years. I was the head coach, whatever you want to. And what I find interesting about this is that there are some parents that just don't quite understand that their kids are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and they have closed their eyes, and in their mind, they see their 8-year-old son being the next Cy Young Award winner. Get what I'm saying, John?
I get exactly what you mean. I see it all the time.
And it's to the point where, shall we say, they're wound a little bit too tight. Now, I get it. When you get to the high school level, high school can be some pretty serious stuff. But at some point in time, the coaches have to reinforce with the students that it's a game, you're representing your school, and more importantly, what do we have? Big picture. I'm always talking big picture, John. What does this say about the St. Louis area when a group of students from a St. Louis area high school go and have to be pepper sprayed in Ohio? What does that tell you, John?
It says that everyone should move to the Westplex.
Right. They should all
And
move.
I think there's the upside of this is I think there's an opportunity for one man to come in and fix it. And I think it's Alfred Montgomery.
Oh, my God. So, John.
I heard he's going to be looking for something to do in the next few weeks. So maybe he could go to Ohio. And I don't know. At the end of the game, if you dispute what happened with a referee call, you just roll some golden dice.
John is referring to the sheriff of the city of St. Louis, who now has another attorney general after his hide, that being Catherine Hanaway. She's picked up where Andrew, what's his name again? Andrew Bailey.
97.1. You have to say 97.1 FM talks Andrew
Right,
Bailey.
Right, 97.1 talk show host Andrew Bailey. I see. Okay, John, explain to me, why are they after him? Why is he the Trump of St. Louis? Why is he the guy they're trying to sue? What did he do? I don't get it.
I would just say that you better watch your mouth or he's going to put you in handcuffs. And you got to roll some golden dice to keep your job, Brad.
John's referring to, there's one employee that was brought in for, what was that, a talking to? Essentially, they had
got handcuffed, right?
Right. Well, another one got handcuffed, but another one essentially said, "Okay, I'm going to discipline you." And he pulled out a pair of golden dice, and he had to roll the dice, and whatever they came up, that was, I don't know what they came up with some number.
Brad, logistics question, because you worked for years, or you worked for at least a while as a police dispatcher.
Yes.
I don't know if these are standard issue or not. Where would you go and get golden dice? Like, do you think there's a lot of golden dice manufacturers in the U.S.? Has the golden dice industry moved overseas? What's your speculation here?
When I read that story, I thought to myself, where did he get a set of golden dice from? Where do you get golden dice?
And are they the kind that you could tie together and hang from your rearview mirror?
I don't think so. The story, and what's so sad about this is, why do people not want to have anything to do with the city of St. Louis? Why is the population of the city of St. Louis gone from a high point? Remember, we talked about this. What did I say? 1950 census, almost 900,000 people. And the 2020 census for the city of St. Louis, I think, was like 275 or something like that. Okay, but and then you look at like St. Charles County. You can look at St. Charles County, Franklin County, Warren County, Jefferson County.
Jeffco.
You can look in Illinois, Madison County, St. Clair County, even Jersey County, Monroe County. All of those counties have grown, and the city of St. Louis has shrunk. What does that tell you? People like the area, but not the city of St. Louis, right, John?
I know a guy that likes to point out that we were once so vibrant that we had 2 Major League Baseball teams. And in fact, they shared a bat boy.
He's making fun of me. Okay, that's it for Brad's segment. Now we get into this is the life of a showgirl, and tonight or this afternoon or this morning, wherever we're doing right now, I'm having flashbacks or something like that. I think it was that bad Little Debbie's I had last night. We go into the next segment of the show where John is going to have essentially like Taylor Swift. I think today it's going to be Jasmine Crockett. Isn't it Jasmine Crockett today?
The woman that we'll be discussing today looks just like Jasmine Crockett, right?